You're actually on the steering committee of this group, CEO Action for Diversity and
Yes.
Inclusion. So tell me what that's about and why that's important for CEOs to come together on this.
Certainly, Tim Ryan, I give credit, of PwC, has done a wonderful job kind of being the galvanizing leader in this. And then he talked to a number of us right after some of the terrible incidents of a couple of years ago, where some African-American, both men and women had been shot, but mainly men had been shot. And we talked about, again, the dialogue that occurred in our companies after that. And we said, while these things occurred outside our companies, people still experience it and they come inside the company, and they're difficult to talk about. So we wanted to create dialogue in our companies. So I think there were 8 companies in the initial group. We said we would share best practices, what we're doing. And we had one of our leaders, our chief marketing officer, and our chief diversity officer, both led some dialogues, created a forum where people would talk about how they feel, because you don't check your emotions at the door. And what it became was just a wonderful way, again, to learn. And so coming out of that, and again, led by Tim, but the group said, let's see if we can't get a coalition of CEOs that want to share best practices and agree collectively we will do unconscious bias training. There's some wonderful training out available on unconscious bias, which we all have. We all have biases. We have a set of experiences and we see things through our lens. And the unconscious bias just opens up your field of vision to potentially see different realities. And so we use this catalyst to try to drive some, again, positive change. And we started with 8, then it went 15, 20, 50. I think there are 400 companies now that have signed on. We've now had a couple meetings. We've gotten together to share best practices. And again, this unconscious bias training. But the idea is that corporate America can really make a difference. We employ millions of people. And if we can create a safe place in our companies where people can talk about these difficult issues, we're going to have a more productive workforce. It's genuine and it's authentic conversations, but make it okay to talk about these things that have almost been taboo to talk about, whether it's race, which is one of the hardest, or other areas on gender equality, or any of the other areas that you can look at, the Hispanic, LGBTQ, any of these, make it okay to talk about it, because our belief in our company, everybody ought to be valued, everybody ought to be included, and everybody ought to have the culture, the environment that allows them to contribute at their peak. That's not true, either in companies or in society, and we can get better. And we said, let's work together to get better. This is an area that is not one that we said we're going to try to compete with each other. Let's work together on this and then compete on the strategies of our company.